What'd you make of this English performance in the 11 Gareth Southgate rolled out, obviously with an eye on the match against Belgium Sunday?
I thought it was an impressive performance. Listen, against Ireland, I'm not sure what could be expected or how much you take away from it. England currently, I think, fourth in FIFA World Rankings, and Ireland at 36. So you'd expect it to be a cruise, and it was exactly that. My big takeaways. Listen, I thought Maguire did well. Probably could have had should have had a second goal. Keane looked comfortable in possession in the back three. Mings equipped himself well. Pope untested for the most part. But my biggest takeaway from this is again how good Jack Grealish looks. If I were Gareth Southgate, I'd find a way to get him into my starting 11. Didn't start in the previous encounter against Belgium, albeit England won. But I think in Grealish they have a midfielder who wants to get on the ball, is creative and offers something that nobody else in that England squad does. I'd find a way to shoehorn him in.
Ian, what do you make of the point that Shaka brings up here? Jack Grealish ready for a spot in the 11 for Gareth Southgate?
I think very definitely yes. Every time he started against Wales and he was super. And again tonight, he wants the ball. He can carry the ball. He looks to the manner born, really, in international football. I mean, it's an exaggeration at this point to compare him with Paul Gascoigne, but he's a similar type of player, and England don't have a player like that. So I think now, I mean, what happened last time was he was great against Wales, and then for the two matches, the competitive games in the Nations League, he didn't get a single minute. I think now we want to see him play against Belgium. How does he look against the top European nation? So it would be fascinating if he started on Sunday in Belgium, and we could see what he can do. Shaka's right. Tonight against Ireland, it was a bit of a stroll for England, really, and their team was not on the experimental side, but very different from the team that will play against Belgium. But I think there are people in the game now. Every professional footballer or ex-professional footballer I speak to says this guy really has it. He's at the top of his game. He has to play.
Ian, what about Harry Maguire? Last time we were here during an international break, there was discussion. Should he lose the captaincy for England? Should he lose the captaincy for Manchester United? Played well today, gets the goal. Do you feel like he's stabilized from that wobble he had maybe a month or two ago to start the season?
Well, first thing is I'm surprised he was in the starting lineup tonight because I understood it was going to be more or less a reserve team. So they put him out there. I think he is putting it behind him. I think the court case and the allegations in Greece knocked him for 6. I think his head was all over the place the last time we saw him. But I think he's putting it behind him. I think he is naturally a strong character. And now you'd like to think that he can get on with it. He certainly looked the part okay tonight. Belgium will tell us more, mind you.
Shaka, one more note here on the goalies. We saw Nick Pope get the start today. We've talked about it before with Jordan Pickford. Gareth Southgate has said there's no one seriously pushing him for that number 1 job. But we know what's happening with Pickford at Everton. Do you believe Gareth Southgate when he says that?
Yes, I do. Certainly as far as the England job goes. Though I will add this word of caution. As England manager, I don't think you should really be saying that for a couple of reasons. I think it knocks the wind out of the sails of both Henderson and Pope, and maybe puts Pickford in too comfortable a position. But for all the criticism and speculation around Pickford, given his performances with Everton, he has been sterling for England, and you understand why Gareth Southgate feels the way that he does. I don't see that changing anytime soon, though. Again, if I were the England manager, I probably wouldn't be saying that out loud, wanting to get a really firm challenge from the other two that we saw today, because they are fantastic goalkeepers, and I think that competition will only bring the best out of Pickford. That competition is lacking at Everton, and maybe why we've seen his own form slip.
Ian, how confident are English fans in Pickford as the number 1?
Well, I'm surprised that Gareth Southgate is saying there's no competition for the place, or that Pope is nowhere near. Every time I see Pope, he's very, very solid. He makes saves you wouldn't expect goalkeepers to normally make. He's come through non-league and lower league football. He even used to deliver milk at one time, so he's certainly paid his dues. And Pickford, let's be honest about it, there's no two ways about it. He's been shaky for Everton this season in the main. Okay, he's never let England down, and that's why Gareth Southgate Southgate is sticking with him, but I think Pope is pushing him pretty close.
Ian Darke, he always delivers the milk. So will Group D at next summer's European Championships, we hope. That's where we'll find England and Scotland, as well as Croatia and the Czech Republic. We should note England and Scotland will face off June 18th at Wembley. Mark your calendars.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.